You hear that guy called? Yes. Okay, do me a favor. Slowly walk out to the gravel and then walk down to this guy right here. Is he in your apartment or his apartment?
This is his apartment. I'm not just going over.
This is 76-year-old David Boyd moments after admitting that he shot his neighbor 3 times. 2 bullets went into the man's chest. The third, according to police, struck him directly in the head. And yet David insists he does not believe he did anything wrong. What makes this case even more disturbing is that this was not a sudden argument that spiraled out of control. For months, these 2 neighbors had been locked in a bitter dispute over noise. And by the night of the shooting, David had apparently decided he had reached his limit.
Okay, why did...
I'm going to take my phone.
Yes, do me a favor. Put your hands behind your back right now. You're going to go in handcuffs.
This is this room?
He's in number 4.
Police, anybody else in here, make yourself known. Please make yourself known.
In turn, the enduring power of music will produce.
Clear.
Police arrive at the apartment complex after David himself calls 911. He does not run. He does not hide. He simply waits for officers and directs them toward his neighbor's apartment. Inside, police find 53-year-old Chad Van Scott dead from 3 apparent gunshot wounds. At this point, there is very little mystery about who fired the gun. The real question is why. And David is more than willing to explain.
Is this one? He's in number 4.
Okay, let's go this way. So you know everything's audio and video recorded, okay?
I'm sorry, what?
Everything's audio and video recorded. Go right here to this car.
I don't know what you're saying.
Everything is being recorded.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
Step up front right here. Do you have anything on you that's gonna stick, poke, stab?
Oh,
any other weapons?
My Leatherman is right here.
Okay, just don't reach for it. I'll grab it, okay? Where's right here?
Right here on my belt.
Okay, I'm gonna take you. This right here?
Yes.
I'm gonna take that out, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, it's cool.
Any other weapons on you?
No. See, I'm 76 years old.
Okay, hold on before you say anything.
Very agile.
Just put your. You need help getting in there?
I can't.
So scoot back and then slide your feet in for me. Okay, everything in here is being audio and video recorded as well, okay?
Okay.
Alright, I'm gonna read you something, okay? Alright. So at this point, this time, you have the right to understand the rights I've explained to you? Okay. Having those rights in mind, were you willing to answer some questions for me?
Sure.
Okay. Can you walk me through what happened tonight?
Well, basically, Chad thinks that I said something derogatory about him.
Okay, who's Chad to you?
Chad, he's just my neighbor.
Okay.
I don't even know his last name.
Okay.
And when I first moved in there, he was fairly nice to me. Would come out, sit and smoke pot out in the front of the house there.
Okay.
And would come over and talk to me when I was sitting out in front of the house. And he indicated that he wanted me to be his chauffeur and to drive him around and do things for him.
Okay.
And I said, well, I can't afford gas to be hauling you around or anything. And so, I don't know, a couple weeks in, he just suddenly stopped coming out and stayed in his house all the time. And a couple of workers were working down here in this first apartment, and I had walked down and talked to them, and One of them had asked me if Chad was bothering me. And I said, no. I said, occasionally I hear him closing his cupboard doors in his kitchen, but otherwise he hasn't bothered me any. And for some reason, they told him that I had said he was banging his cupboard doors and keeping me awake.
Okay.
Well, his cupboard doors aren't anywhere near my bedroom, so it was just them trying to get the two of us at odds, I guess.
Okay.
And so he came up, banged on my door, started screaming and hollering at me and slapping me. And I just backed up and closed the door and called the police. And there was a couple officers came out and talked to us, and he...
When did this happen?
Oh, this has been probably 6-7 months ago.
Okay.
David is advised of his rights and agrees to speak. And from the very beginning, he tries to frame what happened as the final chapter of a long-running campaign of harassment. According to David, Chad had spent months making his life miserable. But as detectives will soon discover, the history between these two men is far more complicated than David initially makes it sound.
And it's just got gradually worse since then. He puts a radio or a TV or something in the little bedroom right next to my bedroom, and if you go in there, you can hear it. It's just blaring into my bedroom, and I can't sleep with it blaring. And he's done that on a regular basis, and I've called the police on him on several occasions, and they say, oh, there's nothing they can do about it.
Okay.
And so then he went to the management company and told the manager that I was harassing him.
The conflict had been building for months. David says the trouble began after Chad supposedly heard that David had complained about him slamming cupboard doors. According to David, Chad later confronted him, screamed at him, and slapped him. Police records referenced in the transcript show officers had already responded to disputes between the two men roughly 7 months before the shooting. During one of those earlier encounters, David had allegedly threatened to shoot Chad. So by the time this night arrives, this is not simply a frustrated neighbor confronting someone over loud music. There is already a documented history of hostility.
Okay.
And I actually had gone and got a set of earphones and a wire and had my TV where I listened to my TV with my earphones. I didn't have it up to where he could even hear it. And he just about, I don't know, once every 2 or 3 weeks would start blaring radio or something in the bedroom to keep me awake. In the last couple of months, I've been sleeping in the little bedroom on a cot because I can't sleep in there with that radio blaring all the time.
Okay, so what happened tonight?
For some reason, he put a radio in his kitchen.
Okay.
And just had it blaring. And I couldn't even hear my TV because of that radio that he had blaring in there.
Okay.
And then I went, turned everything off and went and laid down in my cot, and I still couldn't sleep because I could hear the radio blaring in my front room.
Okay.
And then, I don't know, about 8 o'clock or so, I got up to go to the bathroom, and I went out there, and he had taken the radio out of that area and put it over in the bedroom area and had it blaring. It's still blaring right now.
Okay.
And I couldn't take it anymore. I can't sleep. It's like I'm paying $850 a month for that apartment, and I can't sleep. I can't do anything in there because of him. I'm like a little mouse sneaking around in there, closing my doors real softly so that I don't irritate him. And so I went over and knocked on the door, and he come to the door, and he had a stick, and he tried to hit me with the stick. So I had the gun in my hand, and I shot him.
Can you repeat that one more time? So you had the gun in your hand?
Yeah,
Okay. Why did you have the gun in your hand?
because I'm afraid of him.
Okay. Because of the incident that happened before where he
Yeah,
said you
he's
said
a
he
bully.
slapped you? Okay. Tonight, was there anything that he did to you physically?
Yeah, he hit me with the stick.
He hit you with the stick?
Yeah,
Okay. Where did he hit you with the stick?
in the face, and he didn't leave a mark or anything. He just he tried to hit me hard, but he couldn't because the door was there in the way.
Okay. And then what did you do?
I shot him.
Okay. How many times did you shoot him?
I think 3 times.
Okay.
David presents himself as the victim of relentless noise, but the complaints were apparently going both ways. According to the incident history, Chad had also complained about David. Just 5 days before his death, Chad reportedly told someone that he wanted to move and get out while he can. A property manager even described David as the common denominator behind multiple disputes with neighbors. That detail matters, because David's version of this feud is built around the idea that Chad was tormenting him. But the people around them were not necessarily seeing the situation the same way.
The cool thing about it is it's already powered, so we don't have to worry about that. It was too low in the game. It originally sounded like this. It was a little more muffled, so what I did was I gained it all the way up. And then I took the lows, which were all the way off. But let me tell you how ridiculous it is. With the lows off, the highs off.
I'm gonna run in there and take a look at that stick.
It's a cane.
It's a cane.
Yeah, I'm sure they've got it right now.
Okay. Did you hear any of that? All of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a cane. That's what it
So
looks
is he clearly deceased? Where is he? Where did he shoot him?
like. Looks like the head and the chest.
Guys, do I need to turn around or can I go around your vehicle?
Just turn around that way.
Okay.
By David's own account, the noise had taken over his life. He says he wore headphones to watch television. He says he stopped sleeping in his main bedroom. He says he moved onto a cot simply to get away from the sound. And on this night, when the noise allegedly followed him even there, David says something inside him finally snapped. But notice what happens next. He does not call police. He does not contact management again. He gets dressed, takes a gun, and walks directly to Chad's door.
Excuse me? Is there any heat back here? Could you...
Yeah, let me crank it up over there, okay?
I'd appreciate it. Thank you. He was dead, wasn't he?
David, I'm not going to discuss anything with you
Oh, I'm sorry.
right now.
Okay.
David's explanation is straightforward. He says Chad came to the door with a stick, struck him in the face, and continued coming toward him. David says he fired because he was afraid. But even in this first version, one detail immediately stands out. David did not happen to have a gun with him. He brought it. He walked from his own apartment to Chad's door already armed. That fact is going to become increasingly important when detectives start asking whether this was truly a spontaneous act of self-defense.
I was so stressed out. I feel relaxed now that it's over. That guy just had me wound tight as a rubber band. I feel just relaxed now. I don't know what to tell my daughter. Maybe I could have one of you guys tell her what I did. I've never killed anyone before. Never even wanted to. Except my dad. he was kind of a butthole. But no, I don't think I could have killed my dad.
Inside the apartment, officers find what appears to be the stick David described. It is a cane. And according to David himself, the doorway restricted Chad's ability to swing it with much force. Meanwhile, police observe that Chad has been shot in the chest and head. David may be claiming self-defense, but detectives still have to determine whether the level of force he used matches the threat he says he faced.
Get my recorder turned on. David, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we gotta have recorders on.
Dave, if you don't.
Dave? Okay, I'll call you Dave.
Are you cold, Dave? Got the chili? I'm going to turn this heater on behind you. Is that all right?
I appreciate it.
Can you start by walking me through tonight's events?
About 1 o'clock or so, Chad came home and come in and he put a radio right against the wall adjacent to my front room
Okay.
and turned the volume up full blast. I have a cord that runs from my TV to earphones, and so that I don't, because I'm kind of hard of hearing, I don't want to bother other people with my sound. And this radio he put there was so loud through the wall that I could just barely hear my TV on the earphones.
Okay.
And this is an ongoing thing with him. He'll have a bad day and take it out on me by blaring music. He at one point had some bass speakers, and he would go and he would just turn them bass speakers up full blast and just blare whatever it was he was playing. And so I finished the show that I was watching and went in the little bedroom. See, I've got two bedrooms there, the big bedroom and the little bedroom. The little bedroom is over in the corner. And because he's been blaring that in my bedroom, I've been sleeping on a cot in that little bedroom. So I went in there, got undressed, and got in the cot. And I still couldn't sleep because I could hear that music, even with the doors shut. I could hear that, I think it was a radio, had like, I don't know what he was playing. It was, let's see, it had, what is that show, where they had the guy with the train track, and it was a kid's show.
Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers.
He had that on.
Okay.
And of course, the sound carried through, and I couldn't sleep. And
About what time was this? That you?
about 5:30, I guess, I finally went and laid down. I was just getting to where I was thinking I might be able to nod off, and he turned the radio off. And then he took it and he put it in the little bedroom adjacent to my big bedroom and turned it up full blast again. So now it's closer to where I'm trying to sleep.
Okay.
And I'm just totally stressed out from him doing this to me on a regular basis. I mean, it's been several months, and he goes in spurts. And pretty soon I think everything's okay, and I'll be able to go in and go and sleep in my bedroom, and then all of a sudden he'll start blaring music or the radio or whatever in there to just to keep me wound up.
Okay.
And he's a bully. He just, you remember when you came out before, he had pounded on my door, opened my door, and he stood there and slapped me 2 or 3 times and started screaming at me and spitting on me. And you and the other officer that was with you said that there was nothing you could do. And
So let's
yeah,
stay on track. And you said he's a bully. And so then what happened next?
I just I've kind of lost it. It's like, what am I going to do? I called the management company and talked to a girl there, and she said, oh, she'd call him, and well, when she called him, he turned the music up, or the sound up, louder than it was before. And he's done this before, when I had called the police, and the police would come out, and after they'd leave, he'd turn the sound up louder than it was before.
For several minutes, David talks almost entirely about noise. The radio, the television, the bass, his headphones, the bedroom, the cot. The pattern is impossible to miss. In David's mind, this sound dispute has become the central problem in his life. And when detectives try to move the conversation forward, David finally says the words that explain his state of mind that night. He says he kind of lost it.
The management called me, I don't know, a week ago, and he's reading me the riot act, that I'm harassing Chad.
Gotcha.
And that Chad has been there longer than I have. It's like, what's that got to do with it? We're both paying the same amount of rent.
Right.
And I just couldn't take it anymore. I got dressed, and I went and took my gun and walked over there, knocked or rang his doorbell, and he didn't even bother turning the sound down on the like he normally does when somebody rings the doorbell, and came and opened the door and saw that it was me, and he grabbed that stick he had there and started swatting at me. He hit me in the side of the head with it.
What was he saying?
I don't remember. It was kind of garbled. And then he realized I had the gun in my hand, and he kind of backed away a bit, and then came at me again. And when he came at me, I shot him. I think I shot him right in this area, in the chest. And then I think I shot him like in the chest area a second time. And he kept coming at me, and so I pulled the gun up and shot him in the head.
And then you left and then called police?
After I shot him in the face, I walked back over to my place.
After obtaining a search warrant, investigators say they found the gun and spent shell casings inside David's apartment. But they also reportedly found something far more damaging. A written note. According to investigators, David wrote that he was fed up and that he was going to kill Chad. If that note was written before David walked next door, it creates a major problem for his claim that the shooting only happened because Chad suddenly attacked him. Because now detectives are no longer looking only at what happened in the doorway, they're looking at what David intended before he ever knocked.
Like I say, he had me wound
Right.
so tight that every time he'd turn that radio on, I'd get sick to my stomach and just shake. I'm just so stressed out living there next to him.
Mm-hmm. So Dave, you said that you just had it tonight.
Yeah.
Basically, last straw.
I couldn't sleep.
Couldn't sleep. And so you got up and you got dressed. You grabbed your gun. You walked over there and rang his doorbell. And he opened the door and then had that stick in his hand. And
When he saw that it was me, he grabbed that stick. He had it sitting right by the door. He grabbed that stick and started swinging it at me.
And you said you thought he hit you around the head,
The side of the head here.
right there. But you said it wasn't very hard, didn't hurt.
Well, it was so long that he couldn't really get a swing.
Couldn't really swing it.
And
That makes sense.
when he tried to swing it, then the bottom of it would hit the door.
Oh, okay.
And so he couldn't really hit me that hard with it.
Dave, I gotta ask you, when he did that, why didn't you just back away and call police?
I've called the police
Why did-
over and over.
Each situation,
And
each witness.
every time they say, "Oh, there's nothing we can do."
Well, each situation is different, right? So why didn't you just back away at that point and call?
I was the aggressor. I was the guy that was at his door. So what are the police going to do? They're going to arrest me for harassing him.
David says it himself. I was the aggressor. He had left the safety of his own apartment. He had taken a gun. He had walked to Chad's door, and according to investigators, he may already have written down that he intended to kill him. At this point, the argument that David simply had no other option is getting much harder to maintain.
Okay.
I've never shot even an animal before. And I was expecting him to, do something, but he just fell down and didn't move anymore.
Yeah. Once he fell, after he fell down, was motionless, then what happened? You didn't go inside, correct?
I kind of looked in there
Okay.
to see if he was moving. And he didn't move, so I just figured he was probably dead.
Did you know at that point you did wrong?
I don't think I did wrong.
You don't think you did wrong?
No.
Okay. Then what? Then why did
Like
you?
I said, a guy was a bully.
Right. So you don't think you did wrong because he's a bully?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he attacked me.
But why would you say you didn't feel like spending the rest of your life in prison?
Because I figured that's what's going to happen.
Why is that?
What other choice is there?
All right, Dave. This time you're under arrest, okay?
Okay.
For murder in the second degree. You've been cooperative. I appreciate that. So if you just put your hands out here like this, okay?
For months, David Boyd convinced himself that the noise coming through his wall was destroying his life. He called police, he complained to management, he moved bedrooms, he wore headphones, and eventually, according to his own words, he lost it. But the most important decision David made that night was not pulling the trigger. It came before that. He could have stayed inside his apartment. Instead, he got dressed, picked up a gun, and walked to his neighbor's door. 3 shots later, Chad Van Scott was dead. David said he finally felt relaxed. The court made sure that relief came at a price. 23 years behind bars, all over a feud that began with 2 neighbors who could no longer stand living next to each other.
David initially faced a charge of first-degree murder, but after negotiating a deal, he ultimately pleaded guilty to second-degree murder with a firearm enhancement and unlawful possession of a gun. The now 78-year-old was sentenced to 23 years behind bars.